Try this matchup. Low prices and faster checkout. You can count on it at Fry's.
Welcome to the Arizona Wildcats Video Extra, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. I'm Star Sports editor Ryan Finley, here with Daniel Burke. Daniel, it is NFL Draft Week, which means everybody in Tucson's talking about Ka'Deem Carey. Let's talk about sort of his draft prospects and where you see him going.
Well, I talked to him this week, and it was great talking to him. It's same old Ka'Deem, and he feels good about it. And I think the number one question that I've had, and I think a lot of people have had, is he having any second thoughts? Because when he declared, he said, first, second, third round, you really can't turn that stuff down. Anything after that, you got to start thinking about your degree. And when he got his paperwork back from the draft advisory board, they said second or third round. Now, some people are saying fifth round for the guy, fourth, fifth. But he said no. I really haven't had any second thoughts. This is what I've wanted to do. I'm excited about it. So, he could go anywhere from the top of the third round to the fifth round, seriously. And then I think when you start looking at different teams, the teams I think that will fit him best are teams with a zone blocking scheme. Denver Broncos come to mind right away, and they took a guy similar to him last year, Monty Ball from Wisconsin. So I think when you start looking at teams, that's a team that jumps out at me. And he could go anywhere, and I think it's going to be fun to watch. And I think this one's, extra neat. When Foles went in the third round, that was cool. But this is a Tucson guy, a Tucson legend. If we're being honest, I think with what he's done at CDO and then at the U of A, so you kind of feel like there's some extra stock in this one.
Sure. You look at sort of the schemes that might fit him. The Eagles, talk about Nick Foles.
Yeah.
It's Chip Kelly's offense, something rather similar to what he ran here. Is that a decent fit, something that's a little bit more spread-based?
Well, what's great about that is, he's a diehard Eagles
fan.
fan.
He's a Michael Westbrook fan growing up.
But just a diehard Eagles fan. And he said when they lost last year, he kind of shed a tear because he knew that was going to be the last time he ever rooted for them. And I said, well, what if they pick you? He said, well, then we'll start all over again, and me and Foles. But they're in pretty good shape at running back with LaShawn McCoy, and they even have a good backup with Bryce Brown. So I think they're pretty set there. It could happen, but I think they're pretty set. The Patriots is another team that kind of intrigues me because they play that up-tempo style, and they never take a running back high, but they always seem to get great value in a third or fourth round pick. So the Eagles, though, I'm sure that's what he's rooting for because he's a diehard Eagles fan, and he'd love to go play for Chip Kelly. Because if you remember, out of CDO, where did he want to go? Oregon. Yeah.
This is the Arizona Wildcats Video Extra, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. Ryan Finley here with Daniel Burke. Daniel, let's look locally here. Is there any chance that the Arizona Cardinals pick Ka'Deem Carey?
There's a chance. There's certainly a chance. I don't, think it'll happen. They drafted running back last year. They just signed Jonathan Dwyer from the Steelers. So they're pretty good at that position. But I remember talking to his mom after the spring game, and that's where she's hoping.
Yeah.
She wants him to go play for the Arizona Cardinals so she can go watch him 8 Sundays a year. And I think that'd be neat. And with the path that he took to stay in Arizona to get to go play again in the NFL. So it could happen. But I wouldn't say they're one of the more likely teams. But the crazy thing about the draft, and this, having covered it so many years yourself, so many times a guy goes into it thinking, okay, it's going to be one of these 5 teams. These 5 teams talk to me the most. And then they get drafted by a team that never talked to them. So, you really just have no idea what's going to happen. And that's kind of what's so fun about the NFL draft.
Sure. I remember one year, Daniel, when Mike Thomas and Evan Britton were both 2 of Arizona's top draft guys. And Britton thought he was a first rounder. Thomas thought he was a second rounder. They both went low. And they both went to the same team, Jacksonville, that had shown almost no interest in them whatsoever leading up to that point.
Exactly. You never know. You never know what teams are thinking. A lot of times teams don't want to tip their hand throughout this, and they, having talked to you briefly at the combine and seeing your film and talking to your coaches, they know enough, so they don't want to bring you in for a visit and tip their hand and keep, so you never know what's going to happen. But I do know he's excited about it, and you know him. He's as good a quote as anyone that we've ever covered, and he was great talking to him this week. And he's ready, he's excited, and he wants to get this thing over with because he wants to know where he's going.
One word answer, and then we'll sign off here. Best quarterback available in the draft?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Johnny Football. For Daniel Burke, I'm Ryan Finley. This is the Arizona Wildcats Video Extra, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. We'll see you next time.